What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday night. You know what that means. I'm just kidding.
No, aliens.
So welcome to the show. There's a lot of fucking things going on right now. Something just happened I'd say about an hour ago. I think it just happened. We'll get into that. But I want to ask Rayshawn and Tim how they're doing. How are you guys doing this week?
Good so far.
A new job, so I'm working on that.
If you don't mind my asking, what are you doing?
Supervisor at CVS.
So you work at CBS. CVS?
CVS, yes.
So CVS is a pharmacy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, good for you. Good for
I
you.
work there now, so I'm working on that, and then
Nice.
football-wise, I've seen better days, but it is what it is.
You know what? We'll see. Maybe they're up for the long run. Who knows? I don't know. Keep in mind they aren't exactly healthy either. We'll get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing AJ Brown is hurt, and so is Devontae Smith.
And Sidney Brown.
We'll get into it. But that still shouldn't be an excuse to lose to the Giants. So I'm gonna fucking say.
I agree with you.
I mean, Green Bay lost to the Giants too, so I can't talk shit. And again, there is no excuse. Well, that's my thing. That's why I'm saying there is no excuse to lose to the Giants. You can't just. I'm sorry, but I will say this: the Giants don't quit. They have played a couple of. They beat Dallas, didn't they beat? No, they didn't beat Dallas. Who did they beat last week? Who did they beat? They beat a playoff team last week too.
Now you're gonna make me look.
Did they really beat a playoff team?
Yeah, they beat the Eagles this week. They were talking about it during the game. I can't remember. I could be wrong. 17. Dumbass.
Week 17. Okay.
No, they lost to the Rams by a point.
They lost to the Rams by 1 point.
So then it was 2 weeks ago then.
So let's go 2 weeks.
Nope, 3 weeks because they lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, well, they barely lost the Eagles. They came back on the Eagles.
Right. They lost to the Saints, so we are in week 14 now.
When they beat the Packers.
They beat the Packers, who is a playoff team.
So we are now in week 18.
We are in week 18, actually, no?
No,
so
I'm just...
It's either... So my point is with the Giants...
When they were on bye.
My point is with the Giants, they have not given up, to say the least.
I just love the fact that we went down that rabbit hole.
Honestly, JP, the last game they won besides the Eagles game was week 12 against the Patriots.
They've lost 5 of their last 6.
Yeah.
I
Just
think,
like the Eagles did. Eagles is 5.
I honestly think Jalen Hurts, and watching Jalen Hurts, and I know he dislocated his finger on Sunday.
Correct.
I think Jalen Hurts has hit his ceiling.
Probably.
Entirely possible, yeah.
I'm not saying that's true, but it just
What if it's a coaching thing?
No. Well,
What if?
It could be. I don't know. I mean, Nick Sirianni seems like he answers all the questions right. He was asked, what do you got to do? He said, what every team should do. You get knocked the fuck down, you got to get the fuck back up. I mean, I think it's injuries, and it could be that their players have hit their ceiling, I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the national championship game, which, did you catch any of this, Tim, or no?
I caught parts of it, yeah.
So I watched the whole thing. I watched Monday Night Raw and this game, and I was watching it pretty intently both ways, you know.
Yeah, I got it.
It was a good game. I think. How do I explain this? Yes, it was a 21-point game, but it wasn't until the fourth quarter when Michigan took over.
Yeah, it wasn't a true
I will
21-point game.
well, it is, but it wasn't as bad.
What side did it add to the final
Now,
score?
I will say this. Michigan, I don't think, was ever in a worried, concerned manner in this game because Michigan jumped out 17-0, and then Washington scored 13 unanswered, if I remember correctly. And everybody, I'm sure Michigan fans were like, "Oh no, here we go again." And Michigan just didn't look worried. They, even though the game was close for most of the game after Michigan jumped out 17, I think they jumped out 17-0. And
They did.
And Michigan was on a roll. Like, Washington could not move the ball in the first quarter. Michigan was running over Washington. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Washington showed some resilience. They got some guys over there. They have some guys. Now, let's keep in mind that these two teams are going to be in the Big Ten next year. Washington, Oregon, USC, and UCLA are moving to the Big Ten. I don't think Colorado is too far behind either one of them schools because they're right next to Nebraska, and that would open up a rivalry with it gives more prestige to the Big Ten, in my opinion. Rivalries are what football is all about, and Colorado and Nebraska had some rivalries. They had some games back in the 90s. Back in the 90s.
Especially college football.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, you said football, so.
Well, football. Colorado and Nebraska have a rivalry in football. They're in college. I shouldn't have to say college football because we are talking about college football. You need to follow along, sir.
Wrestling's never been my strong suit.
Well, I can tell sometimes. So, I'm kidding. So, Michigan, I think what was the score at halftime? Wasn't it 20-13?
Yeah, it was.
It was 20-13 until I want to say towards the end of the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter was just dominated by Michigan. Washington actually took the momentum away. And then they came out of the second half and had a pick. And then I think Michigan scored. And it was 27-13 for a while then, I think. And then the fourth quarter was just all Michigan. Washington couldn't even move the ball. Michael Penix Jr.
He got exposed because he doesn't handle pressure well.
Well, and I think a lot of that has to do with Michigan's defense. It doesn't. Yeah. It isn't that. I don't think Washington tried adjusting. I think they did try adjusting. Michigan just had an answer for everything that they did on defense. And later in the second half, he ended up with he limped off the field at the end of the game. Now I will say this: anybody that sits there and says, "Let me find it," because I responded to that. That pissed me the fuck off. With these fucking so-called fucking know-it-all college football fucking people, all right? that don't know fucking shit because they don't watch football. They don't watch college football. Give me a second and I'll get to it because it's in my replies. And I probably have 100 of those.
At least.
I try. Well, a lot of them were Chicago Bears people, and I wasn't making fun of them. They're in meltdown mode right now. So, I'm just looking for it. But I will say that Michigan dominated that second half, and it was hard for them to get anything going because Michigan just had an answer for everything that Washington did. I give props to that football team over there in Ann Arbor. There is no way that your head coach is out for first 3 games of the year and then the final 3 games of the year. And those final 3 games, I'm going to put this in fucking context for everybody. They did not have their head coach. This is how focused this team was. I had somebody tell me that fucking Georgia would have beat Michigan. I'm like, you're fucking high as fuck. I don't think anybody was beating Michigan.
SEC was down this year.
Well, this motherfucker comes on there. Georgia would have beat these guys by 4 touchdowns. Your team, your team lost to the team that Michigan beat in the Rose Bowl. So how can you say that? And he may be right. Georgia could probably beat them. But then he comes back with this, oh, they would have beat us. They would have beat Michigan 6 out of 10 times. What is your argument? That if they played a fucking series that they'd win it? They don't do that in football, you dumb shit. I don't give a shit if Georgia can beat them 6 out of 10 times. They aren't even there.
My head hurts.
They aren't even there. Shut the fuck up. How do you know? Where do you fucking have a crystal ball that gives all... What, you hang out with Doctor Strange? In alternate fucking universes where fucking Georgia played Michigan in the national championship game? Because in this one, it didn't fucking happen. And I know you live in my fucking universe. Shut the fuck up. But that's not what I was going to argue about. So it was based on, and I think it was yesterday, this kid Michael Penix Jr. walked off the field crying. Now, put into context, and I want to put the Michigan thing, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about this Michael Penix Jr. He walked off the field crying because he had just lost. He's hurt. I mean, this kid's beat the fuck up. I mean, you could tell he was... Here it is. Here it is. This guy. Now, this is the same fucking Bears fan that tried fucking arguing with me. I got it. Seems to be working pretty good.
You sure?
Yeah. But just have it at the ready just in case. He said, crying, yeah, I can't even believe y'all entertained this bum. Look at him, showing emotion on the field. Inexcusable. I'm disgusted that y'all even thought about him in a Bears uniform. What is wrong with him crying after losing a big game like that? There's nothing wrong with showing emotion after a game. If the Packers didn't have the QB that they do, I would take this guy in a fucking heartbeat. It is called character. You are a dick.
No, see something like that, I would have said it's called character, which you lack.
He's a dick.
He has
no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Anybody that thinks that these guys should be emotionless hacks. You are a fucking moron. You might as well just keep playing fucking Madden. Alright? Because they show about as much emotion in Madden as a fucking goddamn vape pen. So, people are dumb. I just don't understand their thought process on shitting on a fucking football player for crying. I wouldn't take him.
Yeah, you would, you moron.
If you didn't, I'll get into the fucking the Justin Fields and because I'll talk about Chicago towards the end here.
Oh, because I was about to say.
No, we're gonna talk about him again. We're gonna talk about him because I'm yelling it. I'm like telling Bears fans, y'all are stupid. You know nothing about football. How can you sit there and say if you go and take a look at Caleb Williams and you put him next to Justin, you put pictures of them doing their things next to each other in college, they're the exact same guy. One's just taller. And it isn't Caleb fucking Williams. So why would you waste the number 1 pick on a guy who is the exact same guy that you have right now? How about you put some fucking weapons around the guy? I don't know. It's a great concept for me. I'm pretty sure that's what the general manager in Chicago is doing. We'll get to it. Back to Michigan. What?
And then taking a shower.
Okay. Thank you.
That new brush goes through her hair like a hot knife through butter.
Good.
It goes really faster than that.
It really goes faster? My kid isn't good so at English.
She's got you as a dad.
Like her father.
So, let's put into context. I want to go back to Michigan, who just won the national championship. Let's put into context. Michigan played in their first 3 games, they played cupcakes. So they suspended Jim Harbaugh for some recruiting thing for 3 games. Fine. Got it. That's what they should do. And the school did that. Not the NCAA. The school did that. Made it through the regular season, and then that controversy with him stealing signs, just like the fucking the Bill Belichick gate fucking thing.
The Spygate, yeah.
Spygate. Essentially, Michigan did it a different way. They hired a guy. He'd go to games. He'd sit people in particular spots and said, watch him. I mean, that's called scouting. I don't understand it. I mean, when I played football, the only way you could get an idea of another team is you sent somebody to that game to go watch them play. I mean, what is so bad about that? So he stole some fucking signs. Do better. Do better. It's just like in baseball.
Don't use those signs during the game.
And I'm going to defend the Houston Astros here because this happened to the Houston Astros. They were stealing signs. Maybe you should do your signs a little better or change them up. I mean, duh. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's that to me. But their final 3 games, Michigan's, and I think it was Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State. So they played the other 3 teams in their division that are all bowl teams, and we're all 2, 3, 4 right behind them.
And
they did that without Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that Michigan didn't deserve to be there. And I'm talking about the players. I can understand if they fired the coach because whatever. I think it's a dumb rule. Again, scouting. It's pretty essentially what it is. So there's that. Michigan, I don't think was losing this game. I don't think it mattered.
No, I don't feel it mattered either.
That defense would have given the Carolina Panthers a run for their money.
It would have
That's how good that defense was. Now,
Yeah.
that offensively, I don't think they would have scored very many points against Carolina.
No.
Carolina would still win.
Overrunning team.
Carolina would still win, people. I'm not saying Carolina would fucking lose to Michigan, but I can fucking tell you that their defense would be able to limit them in certain areas. That's all I'm saying. Not saying that they would beat them. I'm pretty sure Carolina'd still beat them by like 20
You need to be very careful.
or more. But so there's that. essentially, Michigan dominated the game pretty much from the get. They dominated the first quarter. Washington dominated the second quarter, and then Michigan pretty much the rest of the way. The rest of the way. So,
I call for Michigan to win.
yeah, they did. 34-13. I was impressed. And that's the first time Michigan has won a national title since 1997.
Yeah.
I think college football is starting to level out a little bit. I think that is a thing now. College football is kind of starting to level out a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think the SEC is going to dominate like everybody thinks they will. And not about our next subject, but we'll get there now. Nick Saban. He retired. This man is 72 years old. And everybody's, and I yell about Bill Belichick not being able to change with the times. This guy knows how to change with the times. That's why he was so good for so fucking long. Because I can tell you when he first got to Alabama, they were all about run. They were all about the power run, right? They were doing exactly the same thing that Wisconsin would do, except they did a kind of a single back formation, right? They would do that. He changed it completely. Alabama became a throwing school. Like, they threw the ball a lot, which is why they got a bunch of quarterbacks to come there. Because they knew they were going to win a national championship with Nick Saban, because Nick Saban was a great recruiter. You can't take LSU out of the SEC. You could try, but that's never going to happen. There's too much prestige there, Aaron. LSU is going to be good next year. I wouldn't worry about LSU. LSU might be the team to beat in the SEC West next year.
But whenever I watch college football at a bar, LSU don't play terrible.
No, they don't. They Alabama is just that good. Now with Nick Saban leaving, let's get on Nick Saban. With Nick Saban leaving, this opens up the doors. This is going to start leveling out the play. You're going to see why Alabama was as good as they were. Because of the recruiting. That's how good Nick Saban was. He would bring in the people, and he would always fill in a 5-star recruit behind that position. He would recruit. He understood football. He would recruit the position that is the most important, right? He would get. I don't think I can sit here and tell you what 5-star recruit he didn't have at quarterback. Because I think Tua was a 5-star recruit. Jalen Hurts was a 5-star recruit. Mac Jones was a 5-star recruit.
Yep.
McCarron was a 5-star recruit. But he put the ball in the hands of people that didn't have to win him the game, but could win it if they needed him to, if he needed them to. That's how good Nick Saban was at coaching. Now, did it translate to the NFL? No, and there's a reason why. Because you've heard this term before. There's a difference between NFL Open and Alabama Open. As soon as an Alabama receiver took off, he was open. Why? That's how good they were at recruiting. Nick Saban was that good. I remember Nick Saban coaching in the Big Ten. He coached Michigan State for a while. Then he left to go to the... Didn't he go to the NFL then? And then he came back. To Miami. He came back and coached at LSU. Left LSU. Went to Michigan State. Came back. Went to Michigan State. And then went to Alabama. And you've seen what's happened to Michigan State since he's left.
Mhm.
What have they done? They've had some okay teams, but they can't win the big one. So yeah, there's that. Any thoughts?
I hope he enjoy his retirement.
I do too. I didn't hate Nick Saban. He was good for college football. I hated watching Alabama always win, but I knew why Alabama was winning. It wasn't because he was cheating. I don't think Nick Saban. I don't think Nick Saban ever cheated. He was just that fucking good at recruiting. Go ahead, Tim.
Do I think he pushed the limits of it? Yes. I don't think Saban cheated, though. I think he pushed it to the very edge as far as he could go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of the greatest college football coaches ever. There's no arguing that. But I agree with you, JP. I got sick and tired of, well, Alabama has to be in there. No, they don't. No, they didn't.
Well, that argument,
Drives me bananas.
you might as well just stop talking about it because they
It's
didn't.
never
They
not gonna
did.
happen.
They didn't win. Well, now it's never not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that at some point. Just give me a second. I'm trying to do something here.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll get to that. All right, we're good.
I know. That is like, that line is iconic.
I find it funny. But so I think Nick Saban, I would argue, is the greatest coach. Oh man, that sucks. The best college football coach that's ever coached.
Yeah.
Name me a better coach.
In college, I can't think of one. He's been the only name I've ever heard my whole life.
I mean, you could argue Paul Bear Bryant, but
As I said,
I don't know if Paul Bear Bryant would have changed with the times. Paul Bear Bryant was a very stubborn.
One-dimensional.
He ran the ball.
Run the ball.
Dude, you gotta. Here's one. Here, I got homework for you, Rayshawn.
Please.
I want you, just seriously, I want you to go back and watch what football looked like in the 70s and 80s.
Rugby.
80s.
A little bit of rugby.
or even the
You're
90s.
pretty
It was
close
pretty
to.
rough.
You're pretty close to rugby. I actually really, and I'll sit and watch it with you, but I want you to sit and watch why football is so big today. It's not. They did what they did back in the 70s and 80s, now people probably wouldn't watch. It was a very boring game. It was turn around, pitch right, pitch left. Every once in a while, we'd throw the ball.
Also, it was Tecmo Bowl.
No, Tecmo Bowl was more exciting, though. The NFL was not. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
As I said, it was rough.
It wasn't. It was more and all the. I'm telling you right now, they clotheslined a running back. They clotheslined people. Defensive guys would they would clothesline the quarterback. Yeah.
Clotheslines, spears,
And
body slams.
I'm talking. What is the greatest spear you've ever seen in wrestling?
WrestleMania 17, probably.
Okay, and that was. You have to remind me.
Okay, Jeff Hardy hanging from the belts. And
Okay.
I
I can honestly tell you that has happened in the NFL.
Yep.
It was a running back leaping over a pile and a linebacker coming at him and spearing his ass midair.
Ooh, I would love to watch this.
I have seen quarterbacks where the defensive end, like Dick Butkus, would grab the guy by the head and literally
Awesome,
try
like
to rip the guy's head off. Like, I am dead fucking serious.
Are we
Now-
talking about football or ECW?
Yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exactly. I mean, body slam. That guy, the end of days. That's happened in the NFL.
No
One of the
fucking
plays
way.
I saw, I can't remember what plays it was or what team it even was, but you know how when they do in anime and they do the spear in anime, you literally see the guy who's getting speared folding entirely over the other guy? I've seen that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's brutal, but I love that shit. That's my kind of football. So, like the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl, I actually enjoyed it because it was a defensive struggle. You didn't see these 45-40 games. Not back in. You would see a lot of 6-0 or 8-6. Like, I fucking love that kind of fucking football. But yeah. So, yeah, that's your homework. I will really want you to, and then we'll talk about it. We'll actually, maybe we'll do a little football history where you sit in and I talk history and you ask questions.
I'll definitely let you know that. Because I'm actually intrigued about what you just told me. You said
Football
the
was great
70s?
back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, man. There wasn't this 5 wide receivers spread them out. I mean, you could do it, but not many teams did it. Tom Landry was the first coach to do it, actually. He's the inventor of the shotgun. He's the inventor of the shotgun. He's the inventor of spread them out. Marv Levy revolutionized it. Now everybody fucking does it. Marv Levy did the actual no huddle. You see a lot of teams, gather around the, quarterback, and then they sit there and they talk about things, and then they do the whole blah, 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 and then this, that, or the other thing. They didn't do any of that shit in the 80s. Nope. The 80s and 90s, they didn't do any of that shit. Yeah, they called an audible, but they didn't do any of that shit. We're going to run a play, we're going to run the play. Yeah, every now and then they'd call, okay, we need to change it because of this. But yeah, I know football has changed drastically, and it's only been 30 years. The game is revolutionized.
My whole lifetime.
Yeah. I remember it was 3 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 wide receiver. That was your offense. And you would run the ball 50 times a game. Maybe throw it 10. You'd throw it if you had to. If you didn't have to throw it, you didn't. I'd see college games where they run what's called a wishbone, and they would run a triple option out of it. They'd turn around, they'd give it to the fullback. You had 2 running backs in the backfield, just like a wishbone style thing. And there's also the inverted wishbone, which I can go over all that stuff with you. See, everybody thinks that I don't know football. I get these fucking clowns on fucking Twitter, though. You don't know what you're talking about. Motherfucker. Where do you think half the shit came from that they used to fucking day comes from the veer offense that was run by Bobby Bowden back in the 1970s? So tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you guys, but these fucking idiots on fucking Twitter. Like, I'll... Tell me, now, this was one of the questions, and this is a question, I don't know if you heard it. You can answer it too if you didn't hear. If you did, don't say anything. Who has the most national championships in college football history?
Oh, I have no idea.
East Coast, West Coast, or Central?
Doesn't matter.
There can only be one champion.
I'll give you, is it Notre Dame? Ohio State,
Neither of them.
Alabama, or Yale? Fucking Yale.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, it's one of the schools that I'm giving to you. Of those four, who do you think has the most national championships?
I want to say Ohio.
You would think they have a bunch of them. Yale has 19 national championships.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you hear nothing from Yale anymore.
Yale is an Ivy League school. They're like
Mhm.
Harvard. That's where all the nerdy kids go to school now, if you get what I'm saying. Those that want to be presidents and shit.
Yeah.
They go to
The
Yale
lawyers
or
and whatnot.
Harvard or Princeton. And like George Bush, I think he went to fucking goddamn community college.
He talked like he did.
Not good it.
He went to fucking
I think he went.
Phillips Academy here in Massachusetts.
Well, I was being a smartass, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do. And I also know you're being a smartass.
So, but Nick Saban is one of the greatest college coaches. I'll say one of them in my lifetime. My favorite head coach of all time is Bobby Bowden. I don't know why. I just loved my favorite line from him was, "Dadgummit, we just have to learn how to move the ball." And it wasn't even that whole sentence. It was "Dadgummit." He would be so mad. That was him swearing on national TV. We dadgum could not move the ball. This is why we lost the game. And he's just so passionate about football. But Nick Saban is
smart about football.
He moved with the times.
Yes.
And this is what's funny to me is him and Bill Belichick, they're best friends.
Yeah.
So why didn't Bill Belichick take some of the concepts from Nick Saban? Was he that
He was that set in his ways.
fucking stubborn
Yeah.
Auburn?
that his Nick Saban was taught by Bill Belichick.
And then
He surpassed-
evolutionized himself.
He surpassed Bill Belichick as probably one of the greatest coaches of all time. I don't give a fuck what level. Why? The man's 72 fucking years old. You think, and that's why I went off on that tangent about the 70s and 80s of football. He was coaching during that time. So that is a lot of years and a lot of evolution to go through. That's my point. And he evolutionized. He has NFL teams using his concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every college football team in college football in Division I uses his concepts.
Yeah. It's a copycat league.
What happened?
She thought her Sensei package got stolen.
Oh.
Because the driver just left it on the back of her son's truck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep. I don't know what else to say. It's gonna be the landscape will change, and I think it'll even out. Was Nick Saban great for college football? Absolutely. He is the greatest heel ever.
Yes.
Because if you and I will tell you this, if he was a wrestling character, he would probably be my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
The way he,
And I don't know.
The way he doesn't act like a heel, but everybody fucking hates him because all he does is win. And that's what you want to hate about a fucking heel, is you want them to win. If you're a wrestling fan, the heel always winning, That's why Roman Reigns is so over right now. He keeps fucking winning. Roman Reigns is the Nick Saban of the WWE. He just keeps fucking winning. It's why people hated Bill Belichick.
That's why they hated the Patriots in general, yeah.
And he's another different type of heel. Doesn't say much, but you fucking hate him because his team always fucking wins. It's why you hate fucking Tom Brady. Because they always fucking win. If the babyface always fucking wins, it's boring. Right?
Well, what was the line? You either die a hero or you live for everyone to hate you or something. I don't remember what's all.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Thank you.
Who's that?
The Joker, Heath Ledger, Dark Knight.
Oh. But I do want to talk about this. Nick Saban greatest lines. I just want to see if I can find them and read a couple of them to you. Oh, Nick Saban quotes.
Some of them are great quotes. I'm not gonna lie.
I gotta hear this.
I'll give the top 10 quotes here. The top 10 quotes. Eliminate the clutter and all of the things that are going on outside and focus on the things that you can control with how you go about and take care of your business. Take the other team out of the game and make it all about you and what you do. That is something a heel would say.
Yeah.
No, something a heel would say. I don't think it's about who you play. I think it's about who you are.
That is number 9. And I mean, these are like, he's right.
Yeah.
If you're a coach on the opposite side, you're doing the same thing he's doing. He's just better at it. Number 8. And this is a quote.
Literally.
You know, all right. All right.
Oh, sort of like what we say.
No. Number 7. I'm very happy at Alabama. Miss Terry's very happy at Alabama. That's his wife. Mm-hmm. This is where we choose to end our career someday.
Humility.
Yep. No, number 6. You gotta read number 6.
I'm reading number 6. Number 6. You've been wrong 5 years in a row, and every year we've won it. You haven't picked us, but I'm rooting for you on the media picking Alabama to win the SEC. That's so great. What happened yesterday is history. What happens tomorrow is a mystery. What we do today makes a difference. Now, if you're a kid wanting to play football,
that's the coach you want.
Shit like that, I'm fucking sold. Here's one. Number 4. We have an opponent in this state that we work every day, 365 days a year to dominate. On Auburn, the arch rival of Alabama. That's why Alabama and Auburn have a rivalry. It's because of quotes, and they've had some pretty good games. Number 3, there are two pains in life. There is a pain of discipline and the pain of disappointment. If you can handle the pain of discipline, then you'll never have to deal with the pain of disappointment. Again, if you can handle the pain of discipline, you'll never have to deal with the pain of disappointment. Why? What do you think he's saying there?
Well, I know what he's saying.
What is he saying? I'm asking. What do you think he's saying?
Oh,
tell me what you. I'm not going to say you're right or wrong because I'm going to tell you what I think. Go ahead.
You want an interpretation of it?
Yeah. Give me your interpretation of what he's saying there.
If you're willing to put in the work to perfect your craft, perfect what you're doing, and get it right, whatever you're doing, be it playing football, your job in life, etc., 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 you won't be disappointed. You won't have to suffer through the disappointment of knowing that of failing at that craft.
Of losing.
Yeah.
So
That's why
that's my exact.
Basically,
That's why I try and do a good job when I officiate.
So go ahead, Rayshawn.
what's that shit? That saying, practice.
There are two pains in life. There is a pain of discipline and a pain of disappointment. If you can handle the pain of discipline, then you'll never have to deal with the pain of disappointment.
Like practice make perfect, basically.
Sick. Okay, I could see that. So in my interpretation of what he is saying, knowing that you gave your all through the discipline and hard work, when you lose,
You won't be as disappointed.
you won't
in
be
yourself.
as disappointed because you gave your everything. You're going to be disappointed that you lost. You're not going to dwell on that loss. That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah.
I think that's the point he's trying to drive.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Except for the goddamn Bill Belichick. Well, we'll just have to see where he's at. I don't know. He's under contract.
Belichick's press conferences are.
Well, this is the typical Bill Belichick, and they talked about this the other day because he's been a point of contention. Was he staying or is he going? I don't think he's going anywhere, personally. But so he would come out and he would they would ask a question about this player. He's under contract. Like, let's say Mac Jones is, they go, what are you going to do with Mac Jones if you draft a quarterback? And Bill Belichick's response would be, well, he's our quarterback and he's under contract. We'll let you know. And then the next day they'll release the guy. I'm not saying that that's what they did, but he did do that to a player. And he's done it where he said, well, he's under contract. We'll have to see where we're at. Whatever. He didn't really give what he was going to do, and then he'd release the guy the next fucking day. That's Bill Belichick. Quote number 2. Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. Do you know why mediocre people don't like high achievers? Because they keep achieving things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And high achievers don't like mediocre people because they work their ass off to get where they are. How come they're right behind me?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
It's a great quote.
And the number one quote.
I think I will do the same list.
Make his ass quit. And
Yeah.
I don't know where that's from, but I can almost tell you that's probably in reference to an opponent.
No, it has to be, I'd say.
So, congratulations to Nick Saban. Nick Saban, one of the greatest college football, one of the greatest coaching careers of all time.
That
If
being
not,
said,
the greatest.
I don't know who's going to take his place as the top quote-unquote heel in college football coaches. Maybe Jim Harbaugh if he sticks around.
No, Jim Harbaugh. No. I don't know. I don't think so. I would probably go with Lane Kiffin because he's a dick.
Yeah, possibility.
Can you open it up? It's starting to lag on me here.
That's a possibility. I just don't know who really will.
I got you.
Can I without the... Just hold on a second. I'm lagging here a little bit, guys. So.
Yeah, no worries.
But no, go ahead. Continue to talk. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, I mean, you're right, though. Like, no matter what, I couldn't stand the fact that, one, Alabama always won, and they seem to always get those 50-50 calls during games, too. Like the borderline ones. They always seem to get them.
Right.
And you need that heel, that team that everyone winds up hating.
Right.
You don't have that.
Basically, like a story. You need a story. You need a.
Yeah. Pro sports
So-
need a story.
So wrestling needs a story. Football doesn't need a story. Stories are created out of games. If you've ever and yes, he's who is going to be the first coach to beat Nick Saban? So Nick Saban has a huge tree of coaches that he's coached. And I don't think he's lost to very many people that he had as his assistant and lost to them. I think he may have lost to one assistant his whole fucking career. That's how good of a coach this guy is. Just saying. It blows me a fucking way how that year Kirby Smart. I think he's the only coach to beat Nick Saban. He was an assistant under Nick Saban. Kirby Smart probably would take over the top spot of the heel. But I don't think that college football is going to have a guy where they're going to die. Not for a while.
Not for a while.
As far as nationally, but regionally, like, I hate Ryan Day. I think he's a douchebag. The way he talks, I just want to fucking slap the fuck out of him. He's the reason they lost to Michigan. He comes out, we got to worry about ourselves. No, motherfucker, you better worry about Michigan because they're better than you. You don't say stupid shit like that on national TV. I mean, I get it. You need to focus on what we do, but we need to worry about them. No, the way he would say it is like, we don't have to fucking worry about them. They aren't that good. They've been better than you 3 years in a row, motherfucker. So there's that. Nick Saban, you can say was probably the greatest heel of college football. Even though Lou Holtz was up there, I fucking hated Lou Holtz. But goddamn, is he a good guy? Like, I hated Lou Holtz as a coach, and then I watched him on Thursday Night College Football, and he was part of the reason why I continued to watch college football. Come on, man. Lou Holtz, and I think Lou Holtz taught Nick Saban how to coach. I don't know. I'd have to look at the tree. So, congratulations to Nick Saban.
Yes.
You deserve your flowers, man. I didn't want to see you win it every year, but for everyone you did win, you do deserve it because, number one, he got 5-star recruits, but if that 5-star recruit wasn't performing, he was sitting.
Mm-hmm.
That is how you coach fucking football. Yes, you want to see a team that just like Wisconsin, like when they started coming into prominence, like it was walk on you. Like you get a walk on and turn into a first round player.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt is a fucking walk on at Wisconsin. Ended up being one of the greatest defensive players of the modern era.
Mm-hmm.
It's about coachability, and it's about coaches. That's what football is about. Everybody says the players. Well, this is my argument. This is why you don't fire a coach in the middle of the year, which we'll get to that shit here in a little bit, too. In fact, we'll do the
Black Monday Roundup.
NFL recap, and then we'll get into the coaching carousel. So, the Steelers did beat the Ravens, but if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm not concerned. They didn't play anybody. The only thing that concerns me is that they don't have a game for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
their starters were sitting that
And
last
number
game.
one seed struggled a lot.
When they have that much downtime in between.
Yes. Now, if there's injuries, like Lamar Jackson, he isn't hurt. I think
No,
he
they
probably
just
could've
sat
played.
him to prevent any injury.
Yeah, I would have played him.
But again, I say this because you remember when Green Bay did that 2 years in a row. Look what fucking happened to them.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried.
That's why I'm saying, why are you sitting your players? Now, the very next year, they didn't sit their players. They should have won that game. But somebody missed a blocked punt, touchdown, and then a field goal.
Yep.
It happens. It happens. Football's a weird sport. Green Bay was a better team. They should have won. They didn't. Move on, right? The same thing I could say for that game. The only thing that concerns me is that, God damn it, is that Baltimore sat too many people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they had to sit 3 because of injury.
And that I am totally down with, because
Yes.
it can't really... Because if you put them on the field, you're hindering their
especially given 2 of those injuries were groin injuries. So they really would not have been able to play very well.
So, Steelers beating the Ravens, I don't read too much into it. Pittsburgh I think they made the playoffs on that win, or had to have somebody else lose. But the Texans beat the Colts, and they're the AFC South champions.
Yeah, that was.
Who'd have thunk it? I didn't think this
Yeah.
team would get
Excuse me.
5 wins.
They deserve it.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
But
They did their thing.
it validates everything I said about C.J. Stroud, right?
Yes.
Can you honestly tell me today, if you were drafting, you would take Bryce Young over fucking C.J. Stroud?
Hell no.
No.
I agree 100%. Maybe I should fucking start telling these fucking people.
Well, they're idiots, so.
The Jaguars lose to the Titans 28-20, therefore eliminated the Jaguars, and that thus giving Houston Texans.
Yeah. They
Happens.
collect down.
Well, they were fighting some injuries, and I get it, but they did collapse, and, well, their defensive coordinator got fired for it.
Yeah.
The Saints beat the Falcons 48-17, and there was some controversy there because the Saints actually scored a touchdown without taking a knee. Jameis Winston got called out for it, and I'm like, you know what? You don't like it? Stop them. Am I wrong? I mean, that's a mentality.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, I get taking a knee, but come on, man. You're all fucking professionals. You got guys out there making fucking millions of dollars. Tell them to fucking stop them. You should be ready for fucking everything in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I don't care who the fuck you are. Can't blame that on fucking coaching. You can blame that on fucking whatever. Jameis Winston did there. I would have stood behind Jameis Winston on that. Now, that being said, I probably would punish Jameis Winston for that. I would suspend him for a game because he did that. Because then I'd be sounding like a fucking hypocrite. Jair Alexander deserved to get suspended for doing what he did. It's conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah, he went off script from what the coach told him.
Yes. The coach told him to take a knee. Jameis Winston said, fuck that. We're going to get him his touchdown. What he's referring to, I don't know because I didn't see it.
It was one of the two. It was either tight end or wide receiver they had drawn up. I read an article about it. That's how I know about it.
Okay, well, either way, they scored the touchdown. You got to stop them.
They was playing Madden.
Yeah, they were playing Madden. That's probably what Jameis Winston was doing. But who cares? Like, people just need to shut the fuck up. Like, quit crying. You deserve to get fired, Arthur Smith. You're an idiot. That's probably why he got fired. That's not for calling out Allen for his shit, just because he's never ready for anything. The Jets beat the Patriots 17-3, thus ending the
But-
Patriots' year at 3-14 or 4-13.
They beat the Broncos, the Steelers,
I
the
don't-
Jets. 4-13.
Okay.
And locking them into the number 3 draft pick.
Correct. The Buccaneers beat the Panthers 9-0.
There's
The Panthers don't have a first round pick. So the Bears have their pick.
Didn't the
Yeah.
Yeah, they got.
So we'll get into the Bears here in a minute. Don't worry. Not right after it. Not going to talk about it during their score. The Bengals beat the Browns 31-14. I don't know if the Browns were sitting people.
I don't think they did.
That's not a good look.
No,
Here's the way I look at it. Usually in these games, and the NFL does a really good job of it, you're playing your rival, your arch rival. And this is why I think John Harbaugh should have played some of his guys, at least for a little while. It's a rivalry game, man. If they didn't get hurt in the first 17 games of the year, first 16 games of the year, take your chances. That's how coaches win games. That's how coaches. When did you ever see Bill Belichick have his guys take a week off?
Never. I mean, Gronk said it best as well. It's not just with taking the week off. It's like, we play in weather. What, do you want to train in a bubble?
Yeah, that's something that Belichick was big about. Was not having the players practice in the bubble that they have at Gillette. He would have them out training in snow, rain, whatever.
Well, if he has them out training in snow, rain, whatever in a dome game, then I don't know. He's just being a dick. That's just being a dick.
I'm talking about if they were at home games.
I get that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I know that you're being a wise ass too.
Yes. So there's but these are rivalry games. I wouldn't sit. I wouldn't
No.
sit anybody. I wouldn't sit.
Especially not
Because
against the Steelers.
you don't see the teams that go 4-13 sitting people. What do they got to fucking play for?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So to say, okay, well, we won the division. Yeah, but we aren't really completing our mission. We come out here to try to win every game or win as many games as we possibly can. I personally would never sit any player. And if I jumped on Twitter, I'd probably get shit on for saying that. But I'm telling you, if you think you can do better, you can come here and coach this fucking football team. Otherwise, you can shut the fuck up. And I'll literally say, you know me. I'll literally say that in a press conference. Like when these fucking stupid fucking media fucktards start talking about fucking football. It's like Nick Saban. You guys think he said that. Well, apparently you don't think I'm doing my job, so why don't you come in and stand for me for a day? Let's see if you can do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Shut the fuck up and
Shut
sit the fuck
up.
down.
there's a reason I'm doing things here. I'm not doing this I'm not doing this to make you happy. I'm doing this to make my team better. I don't care if I have a franchise quarterback. He's fucking playing. Now, if we start falling behind or we just, whatever, there's a reason why there's a reason why I would do that. I don't want to lose in the playoffs. I got this far. I want to take it all the way. I'm playing everybody I can, keeping them as fresh as I can, knowing I have the next week off. This is why I don't understand why number 1 seed teams take their guys off. You have a week to... There's a reason why you have that week. And yes, and I understand, well, we won the division. Then you're not really doing a great job as a coach, in my opinion. I didn't like it when Matt LaFleur did it. I didn't like it when Mike McCarthy did it. I didn't like it when fucking Mike Holmgren did it. as a coach. I don't believe in that. That is my philosophy as a coach. Now, would people be like, oh my God, man, that's why you don't coach in the NFL? My players would respect me more, though. I guarantee you that, and I get 110% out of them for as long as I could. You know, if I start losing the locker room, that's fine. Then go ahead and fucking fire me. But until then, hey, guess what? We just won 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that. I don't think that's ever happened, but that's how Bill Belichick worked.
Yep.
How many Super Bowls does that fucking guy have?
Like
6 with New England plus.
Plus the one with the Giants.
Yep.
There you go.
No, he has 2 with the Giants.
Well, then it's 8.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a bunch.
It's all right.
He named his boat after it. I don't know what.
My point is, that's how you do shit. That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's normal.
The Bears lost to the Packers 17-9. I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk about the game. I will tell you this. It was not Justin Fields' fault that the Chicago Bears lost that game. I wouldn't even blame it on the coaches. You know who I want to fucking blame it on? The offensive line. God, do they suck. They are fucking terrible. The Packers ran over them they blitzed maybe 3 times in that game, but they couldn't fucking block a wet paper bag. Justin Fields is not the problem in Chicago. We'll get into that. The Cowboys beat the Commanders 38-10. That game was close for a little while. The Commanders, the kicker, the rookie kicker who was 34 for 34 or 35 for 35, they were talking about it. Next thing that fucking happens, blocked field goal. So he's no more perfect. The Broncos lost to the Raiders 27-14. The Giants beat the Eagles 27-10. Again, I think the Eagles are fighting injuries, but there is more issues than what's led on. And Rayshawn, you had that question, and that question was, do I think it could be
a coaching thing, I believe.
Yes.
That's it.
Could it be?
I wouldn't think so because at the end of the day, they replaced Sean Desai with Matthew Patricia, whatever.
Matthew Patricia.
Matt Patricia.
Okay, and they haven't won a game with them.
That's Matt Patricia for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Oh.
Matt Patricia, we can't say that because he won in New England, right?
Yeah, that was New England.
He
Yeah, that's
won
New
in New England, right?
Yeah.
He's in the
but
same
he's gotten a little
position.
big for him.
He's in the same position he was when he was in New England and won those games. He wasn't calling the offense. He was calling the defense.
Well, offense, I think it's Brian Johnson, and it's actually rumored that he is seeking somewhere else.
That could be. Is Nick Sirianni the problem? I mean, the guy talks shit.
I mean, I'm starting to point fingers at him.
He's done, but the way he responded in his press conference, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but that's just all like for show. What is?
Is
what's
it though?
really happening?
Is it? Nick Saban said it. Nick Saban said shit like that. Like I remember in one of his like after winning the national championship,
Mm-hmm.
he went into that fucking locker room and he told his players, "We're not done yet. Guess why? We got next year."
Mm-hmm.
He moved on, man. He said, "Look, you guys can celebrate this now, but just remember this feeling because you're going to want to do it next year. Don't forget to focus on that while you're also focusing on your studies." Now, is Nick Sirianni? I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. Never heard him give a speech to his guys, so I don't know. He could just be blowing smoke up everyone's ass. It's a true.
Right.
That's a valid. It's a valid argument, valid question. I
It's
think
like
it's the
how-
problem. It's only been 1 year that it's been a problem, so that's why
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know.
It's 1 year, but it's weeks.
But you
It's
got to
been-
remember, this happens to teams that were really good last year. The other question is, not everybody. I mean, the year after New England won the Super Bowl, they sucked.
See, it's more to just try.
Well, they
to,
didn't
like,
suck. They went like 8-8, I think. Go ahead.
What year?
2002 or 2001.
02, they went.
They won the Super Bowl in 02.
Well, I'm talking. Yeah.
The year after they won the Super Bowl by beating the
They went-
Rams, they went 8-8.
Yeah, or like they missed out on the playoffs by 1 game.
Yes, they went 8-8.
Yeah, they needed the Jets to win, and Jets basically sat everyone.
Yes. So, but Philadelphia's in the playoffs this year. I think
but-
teams just were ready to play them. Now
That's fine,
that
you know,
is
but
on
they
coaching.
wasn't ready.
That could be on coaching.
Uh-huh.
The players not. I'm not saying the Eagles weren't ready. It's just that other team had a little bit more.
Right.
Now, if the players came out like, well, it's the Giants, we're going to beat these guys 45-10, that's on coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that right now. And anybody that wants to tell me that, because if my players had that attitude, dude, you might as well just go home and play Madden because that's what you think.
No,
Yeah,
No game's easy in the NFL.
never is.
no.
I mean, look at the Eagles. Just lost to the Giants. Who did the Eagles lose to the week before? The Commanders, wasn't it?
No, that was
Yeah.
I know they lost to two.
Seahawks, right?
Huh?
Was
No.
it Seahawks?
No. They beat the Seahawks.
No.
Yeah, they
Eagles
did.
lost the Seahawks. They lost the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They lost,
Yeah, it's the Cardinals they lost to.
it was Cardinals, Seahawks, Giants. They beat the Giants, and then the game before the Giants, they lost to Seahawks. Yeah. Okay. And then they lost to the Cowgirls. But whatever.
Right. So
Honestly, yes. So what? They in the playoffs, but I don't think they advance it. And Baker Mayfield and
I bet they beat Tampa Bay. We'll
I
get
don't
to the
think so.
get to the playoffs. We'll get to the playoffs. I promise.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there. I'll let you go. The Rams beat the 49ers. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals 21-20. The Chiefs beat the Chargers 13-12. And the Bills beat the Dolphins 21-14. I am done with the fucking Dolphins are the best team in the NFL. Bullshit.
Same with the
No,
49ers.
people started that because they were like, well, look at all the points they put up. Who fucking cares? It was one fucking game.
Ravens did the exact same thing against the 49ers, but yet they're still not getting the same fucking respect.
No, they're getting their respect now. They aren't falling off just because they lost to Pittsburgh. They didn't fuck. So back to a Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's out here celebrating a fucking Super Bowl. Man, that was a preseason game for Baltimore. It was. I'm not gonna lie, and this is why I'm not so much worried about Baltimore. Because they didn't play, and yes, it was really nasty weather. But Pittsburgh was trying to win that game, and Baltimore was playing a bunch of scrubs, and they still had a
Almost
chance
won.
to win that game. So that's how good I think. That's the focus that I think Baltimore has. So, but that's the end of week 18. I do want to talk about one thing, and there's one thing with the referees, and I applaud them for it. And I know it's a Packer game. It was the Owens hit on Justin Fields. You know what I'm talking about, Tim?
Oh yeah, that hit. Yeah, I do know that hit. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think it should have been flagged.
Wrong. How can you flag a guy that already had committed? That's why it shouldn't have been flagged.
Explain the hit.
Can you, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Type in on Twitter to be Jonathan Owens.
On Twitter?
Or you can type in hit.
Was it like a Justin Fields sack?
Oh, let me look at it again.
No. Just keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
That's literally the only thing that shows up.
Oh, you spelled his name wrong. That's why.
So then, how does he spell his fucking name?
Type it in on the fucking thing there. Type in
I'm still gonna have to know how he spells.
JOHNATHON Owens. Yep, it's right there.
Well, I'm not gonna pull that up.
So just Google it and then look up the hit. Ray Shine.
Okay.
Now, I think he had committed to making a tackle. It was an unfortunate, and it wasn't. So when you say it should have been flagged, why should it have been flagged?
Well, I haven't. I've seen people say it should have been flagged.
Well, of course. So I want you to go look at it and tell me if it should have been flagged.
I'm working on pulling it up right now. Roughly, what time did it happen in the game?
I'll send you a link.
I think it was like middle of the fourth quarter.
All right.
Hold on, I'll send you a link.
No, he shouldn't get flagged. If anything, he should get congratulated because he no for real.
Go ahead.
If you saw what he did, he twisted his body to not collide with him in the head. So
Correct.
He gave him his back. So he
Hey,
protected
check your
Justin
DMs,
Fields.
Tim. I sent you the link to it.
Good, I'm going over that now.
So don't just look at the first angle. You need to look at they're just like two angles.
Yeah.
See, he had already committed.
Yeah.
The first angle. Yeah, no. All right, never mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
So
that shouldn't be flagged.
That shouldn't be flagged. The referees could have very easily flagged it.
Yeah,
But I do want to say this one thing. That isn't, and I had this to say, that should have been flagged. For what? What did he do?
There's nothing there.
He was already committed to making a tackle. Right?
Exactly.
He is committed to making the tackle.
So.
I cannot stand it when they throw that flag for quarterbacks.
And then,
like, what else is a defender supposed to do?
And he's running the ball, so he is now
to
get tackled.
He did. So here's the rule. He did slide.
Thank you.
So he started his slide a little late, and Jonathan Owens had already committed because he was going to try and take him out at the legs.
And Owens twisted his body because he saw the slide and stopped it. Tried to stop it, but you can't stop yourself.
No, once you're already committed to doing that, and it's hard to stop yourself when you're over 220 pounds.
Exactly.
Yeah. The way the rule works, Rayshon, is once you cannot hit a quarterback who has gone feet first into a slide unless you've already committed to the hit. The problem is the referees just see the quarterback get hit and oh, got to throw a flag. Oh, got to throw a flag. just like when the quarterback is in the pocket, and they get hit split second after they throw the ball, and the referees still throw the flag because they're like,
It's a hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, as if they
quarterback
just
got
stopped
hit.
and-
It has to be roughing the passer. No, it doesn't. The league protects the quarterbacks for the most part far too much. There are certain quarterbacks who never get calls. And the other aspect of that is, despite what every NFL fan thinks, some quarterbacks do get called more often than not, even if they're like, well, this quarterback never gets a call. Patrick Mahomes seems to always get the calls, no matter what.
And Tom Brady always got the call, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At times he did, yes, but at other times he would get crushed and there'd be absolutely no call, and it'd be like, why aren't you calling that?
I remember, I'm going to just stop you right there, Tim. Fuck Tom Brady. He got touched by the pinky of a finger and
He
got
literally
fucking
got
called.
touched like that on his helmet and got the flag for
he
roughing the passer.
Yeah. So fuck
No
Tom Brady. He's a
way.
crybaby back bitch. Don't get me started on fucking Tom Brady, man. Just
I would
not today. The guy's a fucking
But
whiner.
why? It's often that way.
He's a piece of shit, is what he is. I to this day still think he's a piece of shit.
Oh, my.
He threw his teammates under the bus many.
But I didn't like, what I don't like is people saying, oh, he really earned the Tampa Bay Super Bowl. No, he cherry-picked who he went to. He was like, oh, they have the wide receivers. They have this. And then he's like, well, I also want Rob Gronkowski with me because I want my buddy with me.
Well, what's funny is Gronkowski retired before Brady.
He did, and then he came out of retirement and
Yeah.
said, I want to go there.
And then he retired again, and he never. The day Rob Gronkowski retired, Tom Brady never went to another fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. But fuck Tom Brady and fuck Rob Gronkowski. I will give Ron Gronkowski credit. He's had some zingers this year.
Yeah.
Which says I think he shows some promise on being good at what he does.
Yeah,
He's had a couple of good zingers this year.
Yeah, he has a shot at it at least.
Well, like the one that she said. I mean, that's one right there, and then there was another one. I can't remember. It was a controversial thing. It was a controversial hit. I can't remember what it was and whatever. But he's showing me some promise that he actually might know what the fuck he's. But then he does some dumb fucking shit.
Like goes to WWE for some stupid ass
Well, WWE, I don't care. I mean, that was gonna happen anyway. Because you look at WWE. Rob Gronkowski was really popular. Why was Rob Gronkowski? He's part of pop culture because he was at fucking Twitter, fucking twerking and shit. This guy, he has charisma like you wouldn't fucking believe. I wholeheartedly believe that's why he was in He was always gonna be in WWE for that one time. And he just so happened to know Mojo Rawley. That's why. That's why that happened. And
Yeah.
I was okay with it. I was fucking entertained by it, all right?
Honestly, he knows football.
He does. He just, some of the things he does, he's like, Jesus, this guy's a fucking goon. Like the way he talks.
Sometimes he acts like a 5-year-old.
Well, he acts like a 5-year-old because he's trying to be funny.
Gronkowski?
If you ever, but yes, and that's,
he's the eternal frat boy.
He is.
Yeah.
But he is entertaining, and I think he does it to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's as dumb because he would do it in games. Oh, well, we just have to do these things. I mean, he would say weird things like, "Can I have some of your hot dog?" Like commercials that he's done, the USAA commercials. I fucking wanted to punch this motherfucker in the face.
I still do, but
Have you ever seen them? USAA commercials?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking funny. They're pretty funny. The Jake from State Farm ones are getting kind of fucking annoying now.
I like the Andy Reid and
Oh, the
Patrick
Andy
Mahomes
Reid and the
one.
Patrick Mahomes ones, but then they had to do the one with the fucking Caitlin Clark. It's getting out of hand, man. It's all right. Not everybody. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was about to agree with you. It's getting ridiculous.
I mean, they're still pretty good, but come on, man. The last real great one was the Mahomes and the Maato one. That one was pretty fucking funny. He's just telling Travis Kelce, I'm the bigger star. I'm the one that got us to these fucking Super Bowls first. Wait, you can be Maato. It was funny. So, but there's that. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else. Unless you want to add, Rob Gronkowski's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
For me, he said a couple of things that I agree with, though. And I will say that. So I'm done shitting on the Patriots. Guess what? We're talking about now.
Black Monday?
I don't call it Black Monday. I mean, we could talk about Eric Bischoff if you wanted, but he's in the fucking news as well. But no, so the firings that happened, 3 of them happened in the middle of the year. So 7 coaches have been fired, and they're trying to fill those positions. Why the Las Vegas Raiders are looking for a coach, I don't fucking know. Have you not seen
they've had trouble since they got rid of Gruden.
Have you not seen? No. I think they found their guy, and they didn't fucking hire him right there on the fucking spot. Antonio Pierce? Holy shit. Like, like this team was done. They were going to finish in the top 5 looking for the number 1 pick. That's how bad they were playing, right? He comes in. They look like they did last year and the year before. Just saying. These what they're thinking, I don't know. I mean, am I wrong here? I mean, I don't think they won every game, but they've been really competitive. They've looked good on, not great, but they've looked okay on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they've looked all right. I mean,
I think that's the head coach. That people want to play for him. And it's not like they weren't playing for the other guys. It's just he gives you that extra oomph.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And he's a former player.
Which helps, because then he can read the field better
sometimes. Which I don't know why. I mean, yes, I know like how Mike McDaniel became a fucking... I think he thinks he's a fucking offensive savant. But, well, he acts like it. I mean, yeah, he's smart, but I don't think he's any fucking smarter than fucking a dead Lou Holtz. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean that he's not smart. I mean, he's not as smart as he thinks. He's smarter than he thinks he's... He thinks he's smarter than he really is. That's what I mean by he thinks he's a savant. Yeah. I'm not shitting on Mike McDaniel. He has turned Miami around. But it's not...
Yes.
I want to see him do it with his own players, not a bunch of free agents. That's why I like the NFL, and that's why I like what Green Bay does. They build through the draft.
Yeah.
Fucking love that. If I was going to build a team, that is how I would do it. I would not build it around free agents. Free agency, to me, has caused all of these salaries in football to go through the fucking roof. Because players are like, well, I'm leaving this team to come here. I think you should give me more. If you're after me this much, you can give me this much more.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And that's layman's terms. I know there's other things that go into it. So before anybody says, oh, you don't got to deal with lawyers and agents, no shit. But if you think about it, that's exactly why these guys go to free agency. And this is why baseball needs to do something, because you have a guy that is already making almost $1 billion.
Yep.
Now, because these organizations are opening up their pocketbooks like, hey, we need to borrow money, California, to fucking fund our baseball team. Just
we want
saying.
a new stadium.
You're paying. They paid They paid a baseball player, Shohei Ohtani, $750 million over the next 10 years. That's $75 million a year. That's damn near $100. Did I say 75,000? 75 million. That's nearly $100 million a year. And the first person that I fucking hear bitch about, well, I gotta feed my kids. Oh, motherfucker. I'm so sick and tired of the argument millionaires are... Listen to what you're saying when you say millionaires are fighting billionaires. They're both fucking rich. I don't give a fuck about you and me.
No, not at all.
NFL players do not give a shit about you.
Right.
You can be a fan of them. This is why I'm not a fan of a player. I never will be a fan of a player. I will be a fan of a team, and I will support that team, because these greedy motherfuckers, yeah, well, I'll sign it. The most interactive that I have seen in the NFL are actually Packer football players. They actually, during summer practice, they ride, kids bring their bikes to their practice, and they get on, the players actually ride their bike to the practice. It's a tradition here in Green Bay. Well, not here in Green Bay. I don't live near Green Bay. But here, the Packers. That's why I love the team. And I can say that because I follow it. Like, it's a big freaking thing around here. They've talked about it on ESPN. People don't want to pay attention to that anymore because they're afraid that fucking Caleb Williams is the next big fucking thing. He's not, and I'll get into that. Back to the coaching round tree. Brandon Staley of the Chargers got fired, and I've been calling for his firing before he even got the fucking job.
What team this is again?
The Chargers.
Oh, okay.
So the guy that they had was the right guy. The problem is he got fired because his team kept underperforming. But that was because of injuries. Like, I look at the Los Angeles Chargers / San Diego Chargers roster, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, they underperformed.
It's not that they underperform. It's that some of them, like Derwin James, coming out of college on Madden, he got like an 88 fucking rating. Like, wow. That's like the greatest college football player ever.
Yeah.
That's like Reggie Bush type numbers for Madden, because Reggie Bush, he came in as an 87.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So think about that for a minute. And then, you got the... It just blows my fucking mind. That's why the Chargers have struggled. And they deserve to be fired because Brandon Staley deserved to be fired because they were trying to fix an offensive problem, but the problem was the defense. So they fired the guy that they had as a head coach because he couldn't fix the problem that the defense was having. So they brought in a guy that could coach defense. Now Los Angeles is all in fucking shambles because, Justin Herbert was hurt, but I still think they probably only would have won 5 games because their defense couldn't fucking stop
anything.
Stop fucking sperm with a fucking fully unbreakable condom.
Yeah. And at times their offense was anemic too.
But yes, and especially when Justin Herbert got hurt.
Yeah.
Well, the week they played the Patriots, they won 6-0.
Yeah, because I think that was Justin Herbert was hurt already. Justin Herbert hurt himself in the middle of the year.
Herbert played that game. Herbert was playing that game, but he might have been playing injured though. You get what I mean?
Yeah, he did that. He did that.
I know. Joe Burrow in the middle of a game went to throw a ball. He couldn't do it.
It was during the game against the Ravens.
Oh yeah, everybody was saying how fucking Joe Burrow's gonna eat him like fucking.
And then next thing you know, you see him on the sidelines. He gets this far with the ball and has to drop it because his fucking tendon in his thumb is fucked.
He had to have surgery on it. So there's been some injuries in football this year. I think honestly, the AFC North would probably have had 2 fucking teams that were 13-4. That's how good Cincinnati was. Well, their defense really hurt them because they lost a bunch of guys on defense.
Yeah,
they still have their front 4, but if you can't get pressure. You can't get pressure all the time. So the back end it struggled for Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
But Brandon Staley, same thing. He has the players. Joey Bosa got hurt, he's the oldest. He got hurt. Happens, but that's not the reason that defense just wasn't very good. Derwin James, not saying he's a bust, but he's it. Him and Joey Bosa are it on that defense. They're trying to build it, but it's just not injuries. Injuries are killing them. Arthur Smith got fired Monday morning, and then I was off that day, and I'm sitting there watching ESPN, and I'm like, what the fuck happened in the Saints fucking Falcons game when Arthur Smith walks up to Dennis Allen and says, fuck you, you're a dick. He said something to that effect, and I'm like, I missed this because I didn't watch that. I was more in tune to the Packer game than I was. The one that I kind of am gonna shit on is Ron Rivera.
Well,
I don't think it's his fault.
It's not his fault. The Commander's whole front office is in shambles right now because of...
But the guy that they brought in, and I get it, and I think Ron Rivera probably said, you know what, I'm tired. He just came back from cancer.
Exactly.
So he's like, you know what, I'm tired. I think I'm going to go home. I'm going to be with my family. I think that's what's going to happen with Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
But to come back after that and to fire him, I don't know if I would do that. I wouldn't fire him and not make him like a consultant. Like one of the coaches that got fired today, I think, or yesterday. Or was it today? Got fired.
I think it was today.
Yeah, I think it was today.
So there, I mean, think about that for a minute. They brought him in as they did not as
hitting the pen so hard
as a consultant. They did it with Mike Holmgren.
Yeah.
When they relieved him of his duties, he stayed.
I mean, he's really a smart coach.
Yep.
I wouldn't have let him go. I would have put him somewhere in the front office or even draft.
I would have just had him
draft
that or consult.
Yeah.
The guy is he's a defensive genius.
He is. He really, really is.
I mean, look at some of his defenses that he's had. That's why he's had a head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been on some teams that had really good defenses. I want to say Carolina's was really good. At one point.
Yeah, they had that one year when they had just one of those dominant.
Well, they went 15-1 that year. Got their ass beat by the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But he played for Chicago, one of the greatest linebackers. I hated him. I hated him with passion because he played for the Bears and he always won.
Yeah.
So that was my life growing up. So I know what it's like to be the underdog. You know, Packers were never good when I was a kid, and it kind of frustrated me because they'd see why I don't want to be a Bears fan. There's a lot of Bears fans around here.
Guys,
We have a few. And, well, it's because it's not that far away. And again, a lot of people down this way kind of we live on the Iowa-Wisconsin border. So if you look at the Mississippi River, that's pretty much where we live. And that is why there's a lot of Bears fans around here, especially in the southwest corner. And I had to live with that. I had a lot of people around me were Bears fans. A lot of family. I have a couple of family members that are Bears fans. Always been brought up as a Packer fan.
Mm-hmm.
you want to hear a strange place to meet a Bears fan? A former manager of mine at Harley was a fucking Bears fan. And that's all in fucking New York. I looked at her, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I don't like the New York teams. Then at least go for New England or Baltimore. They're closer at least.
No, there's Packer fans all over the fucking place.
Packer fans are widespread.
They're more internationally known than any other team in the NFL.
The only one I'll argue with you is Cowboys, but that's...
Actually, there's more Packer fans than Cowboys fans.
But
Worldwide. Worldwide.
But that's what I'm saying. Packers fans are very spread out. Cowboys fans are very spread out as well.
Well, there's Cowboys fans are everywhere, too.
Yeah.
There's tons of Cowboys fans. My cousin's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
One of my sponsors is a Cowboy fan.
Which I got to reach
Someone
out
I
to
went to high
him.
school with married a Cowboys fan
Let's watch
up
the
in
game.
New Hampshire. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, but Ron Rivera, man.
I don't know.
I never would have fired him. I would have put him in the draft room or made him a consultant.
Yeah, or given them a front office job.
The next coach fired was kind of a shocker, too, Mike Vrabel. But I kind of seen that one coming.
I saw that one coming.
There's rumors that he might go to New England if Belichick gets fired or something.
That's because he's a former player. I don't think Belichick's going anywhere.
I don't think so either. Unless they trade him. And you can trade a coach.
You can trade coaches.
I know. Tampa Bay gave up a first and a third or whatever to bring him in.
New York traded Belichick to the Jets. Traded Belichick to the Patriots because Belichick wanted general manager authority, and the Jets and Parcells was keeping that when he moved to the front office. And so he's like, well, then fuck you all. I'm going to New England, where they'll give me the general manager, where they'll give me personnel control.
Yep. Well, thanks for the history lesson. No, and you're right, and I know that, but I just gave you an example. So I know you can.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that.
I don't think they'll do that either. Right now, they're in a staring contest right now.
They're in
That's a better way.
They're in a staring contest.
Belichick had a press conference, and he was asked, what are your thoughts on next year? This was I think it was yesterday. He usually does press conferences on Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. And he said, he basically gave a non-answer, which is classic him. But he said, I'm anticipating being here next year. Basically saying the only way...
He just said his response, and I know what you're talking about, his response was exactly this. I'm under contract. I'll be here tomorrow until they tell me otherwise.
Yep, basically that's what his response was.
So I don't think he's having a staring contest with anybody. I think he's just, well, I'm just going to come in. I'm going to sit at my desk and think about what I'm going to do next year. That's Bill Belichick. And until you call me, Robert, and say, hey, you need to clean your desk, I don't give a fuck. I mean, he gave a perfect response. I gave him the response would have given them. I'm still fucking employed here, motherfucker. Until Robert calls me and says, hey, clean out your desk. I'm going to say I'm going to piss on this fucking desk, and then I'll walk out the door. After all the fucking service I've given you, if you fire Bill Belichick, that'll be the end of Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, well, that and also, they made the argument on Sports Talk Radio because that's basically all I listen to up here during the day. Of Kraft's legacy is inexorably linked to Belichick.
It is. If it wasn't for Robert Kraft hiring Bill Belichick, Patriots wouldn't have existed.
Yep, exactly.
They probably actually would have been called the Boston Republicans or Democrats or whatever.
Well, there was rumors that they were going to be moved out of New England also.
Yeah. Well, New England is Boston because it's just outside of Boston.
Yeah. No, I'm saying they would be moved out of
Right.
New England and probably sent down to...
And before everybody, I'm not arguing. That's all I know is Boston is New England.
Yeah.
But they're representing Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
Delaware.
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I already
No,
said New Hampshire.
exactly.
You stop repeating states that I call.
Alaska.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Hawaii.
Mike Vrabel does surprise me though, and if he does get the job, I think he's more suited as a D. I didn't like the hire the first time. And I'm not saying that I didn't like the hire because I didn't think he could do the job. I didn't like the hire because he really wasn't. He essentially retired and then became a coach, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's too soon for me. Yes, you may know you may play football, but that is a tough
Transition.
That's his first head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In Tennessee, that makes Tennessee. Oh, this guy's first year coach.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people. The one question I fucking have is how in the fuck does Josh McDaniels keep getting fucking head coaching jobs?
Who the fuck knows?
I don't understand. This guy hasn't made it through a 1 year
without being switched to a different
without
team.
being fired in the middle of his first year. Not even all the way through the season. How in the fuck does this guy keep getting jobs? And I'm not shitting on Bill Belichick for this. I am shitting on those fucking guys that can't fucking coach.
Well, he made it through his first year. He couldn't make it through his second year.
He still got fired in the middle of the fucking... They gave this guy a 4-year fucking contract and fired him. Yes, they did.
Part of the problem, I think, is he wants to coach the way Belichick coaches, and he doesn't have the
Skill set.
currency that Belichick has, the winning currency that Belichick has, to be able to have that attitude.
I don't think that's it. I don't. I think it's... I was a Belichick guy. I have to mold myself around how Belichick did things. Belichick got fucking lucky
Yes.
with Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Anybody, and even they would say, "Oh, we knew this the whole time." Bill Belichick can blow smoke, but he can't blow smoke that great. He doesn't. Bill Belichick doesn't give himself enough credit by hiring the right people. Tom Brady looked like a lump of shit coming out of college. He didn't have a great college career. He didn't. Which is why he got drafted. The scouts seen something in him that put him at the 6th round. That's why Tom Brady was drafted so fucking low. And that is the only reason he was drafted so fucking low. Is because he didn't have a great college career. Not by his fault. He shared time with quarterback. And I can't remember his name. They actually split time. He'd play one quarter, Tom Brady would play the second quarter. Tom Brady might have finished a game or 4 in the Big Ten.
Something like that, yeah.
All the way through. He didn't get, it's not that he didn't get playing time, but he didn't start.
No. He wasn't the
he wasn't the all the time regular guy. He was one of the all the time regular guys. That's why he was drafted in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Because people didn't think that he had a great work ethic. But somebody's seen enough in him to probably put him at 199th pick. Belichick took a chance.
Well, he saw what he was as a starting, and he's like, I can mold him.
He got lucky with Tom Brady because Tom Brady fell to him that far in the fucking draft. That's my point. I'm not saying that they got lucky with Tom Brady because of his,
He's so good.
Yes. Tom Brady was a very good quarterback in college.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up sharing time with another guy that was about as good on the college level as he was, if not better. That guy just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Tom Brady did. And a lot of teams weren't even going to pick him. And they took it. We'll take this kid. He keeps falling here. We're going to take him.
Alpha said Drew Henson, he believes.
Drew Henson. Sounds just about right. He was a 5-star recruit coming in.
Yep.
Tom Brady was a. I don't even think Tom Brady was a 5-star recruit.
No, he wasn't.
2 or 3.
So that tells you the kid can be coached to be that good. Look at what he fucking did in this. Look at what Tom Brady did. I don't like Tom Brady any more than the next person.
Except for me.
You get what I'm saying. My point is,
I get exactly what you mean.
He's that good, you fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Now, late in his career, I will say he had more help. And he needed more help to win that fucking Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. If he didn't have the receivers and the defense that he had,
he was fucked.
If he did not have Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown kept it together for that 1 year down there, then he went nuts.
Where is he?
I seen him on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. He actually said something that I agreed with, too.
He comes out with some good ones once in a while, but most of the time it is just nonsensical fucking babbling. He's not on any team right now.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's just sitting in the... Here, let me...
I think I still follow him.
I think Leonard Fournette was on that Super Bowl team.
Yep, Leonard Fournette was. He was his outlet back, which Brady was always good at using that pass catching back.
This is the shit that he does now.
But he had
Evans was still around.
He still is. He had Gronkowski, who was a shell of himself, but made a few catches.
Was it this?
He had that other wide receiver down there, too. He had 3 wide receivers.
Too.
It's not in reference to anything. That's literally just how he types now.
He types like a crazy person.
He's trying to make fucking haikus.
He's rent so high right now, they got couples living together and they single. So he's saying he's living rent-free in people's minds. Do y'all see how everyone's truth is coming to the light? The universe is speaking.
But are you listening?
I mean, that makes sense.
It makes sense once you decipher what he's babbling.
Wow, this one's good. The pussy the best after she dropped the kids off in the morning. This guy's throwing out some fucking singers.
I might have to start following him just to follow these things.
Do you think here's it? Do you think Nick Bosa had the remedy telling the NFL how to stop Jalen Hurts? I mean, he's not. Prayers up for AJ Brown. Call God. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's just sometimes he says.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the other thing is, reportedly,
Jesus.
Vrabel wasn't happy when the Titans traded AJ Brown to the Eagles either. He's like, we have a top tier wide receiver. Why are you trading him?
Who?
AJ Brown.
The Titans?
Or when he was in the tennis. Yeah.
Well, they had a kid coming in behind him. The kid they got coming in behind him, Drake London, I think his name is.
I think so.
I thought London was with the Falcons.
AJ Brown. So
No, he was
they had draft capital, or not draft capital, salary issues. They realized they were never going to be able to pay AJ Brown. So, and this GM didn't give a fuck, and I like the GM. I just don't agree with the firing or the hiring level.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he came in before Mike Vrabel came in before he was.
Yeah, Vrabel came in before the GM. And
No, wasn't the other way around.
No, it was. Vrabel was there before the GM.
Okay, so I attribute it to the GM wanting a different.
That's what I was going to get to.
It had nothing to do with AJ Brown. AJ Brown wasn't a bad trade.
No. I'm just saying Vrabel wasn't happy about it.
No. They were still winning without AJ Brown anyway.
Right.
For a little bit. They have Derrick Henry, man.
And they beat the Patriots in the playoffs also with Brady.
Yeah. Julio Jones is still fucking playing too.
Mm.
And the last firing of the day, Pete Carroll, which happened just today.
Literally only a couple hours ago.
Right before Nick Saban retired. I mean, he did it today in the middle of the day.
I don't know. Pete Carroll, if he wants another job, he'll get another job in the NFL.
He's already not.
Yeah, he's at that age now. He's like, I'm gonna go home and play with my grandkids.
No. He's the one that I'm talking about. They hired him as a consultant. He's gonna work in the front office. He's not going anywhere.
Dude is 70. He needs to
It's
go
not
home.
It's not even that. But he's another one of those coaches. He moved with the times. He did.
He did very well for the Seahawks.
Again, I hated Pete Carroll, man.
Yeah.
Do you see my trend? Everybody that was associated with Nick Saban or fucking Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick can go fucking suck a dick. That's just what I'm saying. They were so fucking good. Pisses me off. Pete Carroll doesn't surprise me, but it does to a certain extent.
Yeah,
But
the
then
Seahawks had their time with him.
But then they gave him that front office job. Yeah. This is a mutual. Okay,
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks are going to be okay. Now, it's hard to be in the NFL and you're up by Alaska.
Yeah.
I want people to put that into fucking context.
You're literally the last state before Alaska.
This is why the NFL is thriving because they're popular in a fucking. And Seattle's a big city. It's a big metro area, and I get that. I'm not saying that they will.
But it's not a big market.
My thing is this place is all the way in the upper corner of the United States, right on the fucking border of Canada and Alaska. Think about this for a minute. The NFL made it popular. They made football popular in Seattle.
Yeah. With Pete Carroll.
The NFL. I'm talking the NFL. Pete Carroll helped do that. I'm not saying that Seattle was never a great place to go play football, because it was back in the 80s. They were pretty okay, but they weren't this level good.
No.
Where there was years where even if Seattle didn't have Russell Wilson, they were still a threat to win the division and win the NFC. It's just how great of a coach these guys are, and people don't give teams credit. It's why I always say it isn't one guy, it takes all 53. These are the things that I don't know why teams... NFL's a copycat league.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is.
But these fucking front office numbnut motherfuckers keep doing the same fucking thing over and over again. Now I think we have a certain GM in the NFL that is like, hey, McCaskies, if you aren't going to fucking run this shit right, just sit at home and let me do my thing. You tell me how much money I can spend on the salary cap.
And I'll handle the rest.
I'll try and get us, how much can you afford, with certain bonuses and shit. Do you see what I'm saying?
With the
Oh, yeah.
incentives.
That's all they need the GM for. The GM, and I think this is that guy, but this is what I said. That front office, that people in charge of Chicago, of the Bears organization, need to go. Because I'm going to get to it now. We're going to get to the one guy that all I heard all Sunday and all week is Matt Eberflus from Chicago. Survived the firing. And I'm going to tell everybody why. That GM is not going to appease his fans.
Yeah.
He's going to make them appreciate what this team is going to do.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not a Bears fan. What they're going to do, they have the number 1 and number 9 pick. They're going to go 3 ways with this. And I'm only going to explain 2 of them because the other one is drafting Caleb Williams number 1 and moving on from Justin Fields. I'm going to get into that right now. If anybody thinks that Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields is right now, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Justin Fields is your guy. You have to put pieces around him.
Yes.
Right? I
Yeah.
always say this. I don't care how fucking great of a quarterback you have. If you can't get the fucking pieces around him, you aren't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I bitched about this with Sam Darnold. When they drafted this kid number 3, I think, and they don't put anybody around him, they expected him to do it all. Like, what organization doesn't... Okay, I can throw the ball, but you got to give me some weapons to throw to. He played against the... He looked pretty good. I mean, he looked pretty good against the Rams because they were playing some guys still. You put Sam Darnold in a system and you put some weapons around him or people or a system and go with it, you're going to be fine. But you don't keep changing your fucking, we need to fire this guy. He didn't develop. He hasn't won a game for us. I'm going to tell you why Chicago kept Matt Eberflus. Why? Because he improved on his winning record from the year before.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's about wins and losses in the NFL. I don't give a fuck if Joe Barry is the worst coach that has ever lived. The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. As long as Green Bay's winning, I don't care. I say keep them all. Right? That's how I feel as a fan. Why are we so caught up into, well, we need to get rid of this guy because we have the number 1 pick. We need to take a quarterback. Caleb Williams is not as good and never will be as good as Justin Fields. He'll be as good maybe, but not better. They're 2 in the same. One's just taller than the other. And the taller one isn't Caleb Williams. Justin Fields is your guy. They have the number 1 and number 9 pick in the draft. Who is the top-rated player in the NFL coming out of college football this year?
It's between Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., and
It's not even fucking close. The best player coming out of the draft this year is Marvin Harrison Jr.
yeah.
I'm not saying he's a sure thing, but as a prospect,
I hope.
he's making good, really good college. He's making college cornerbacks, like the good ones that get drafted in the first round,
Yeah.
look like a fucking clown. Look like a fucking clown. I think they went up against the team this year where they had one of the guys that is one of the top cornerbacks. Michigan, the guy from Michigan, who is going to be a first-round pick. He sizzled him for fucking days. Michigan got to the quarterback enough to beat Ohio State. Then just wore Ohio State down. Marvin Harrison is one of those guys that can win games for you.
Yeah, he's one of those big play wide receivers.
These Larry Fitzgerald-like. Let me put it to you like that.
Yeah, I like that comparison.
I mean, yes, his dad was Marvin Harrison Jr., who played with Tom Brady, who was a first-round draft pick, came out of Syracuse.
No, Marvin Harrison Jr. played with Peyton Manning also.
I'm gonna beat you so hard. My point is he is nothing like his dad. He's bigger than his dad. He's stronger than his dad was. Stronger than his dad was, and has a bigger catch radius than his dad did, and can run faster than his dad did. So you tell me, and Marvin Harrison was considered he's probably going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
No, Marvin Harrison is the guy. I draft him 1 if I'm Chicago. He's got one weapon. Why not add another one? See if he can't win you a couple of Super Bowls before he moves on. Why the fuck not? That's what you want. You want a Super Bowl, right? Why not have 2?
Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying? You have a chance to win 2. You bring in Marvin Harrison Jr. You got DJ Moore. You have a pretty good running game. Right? It's about all they can block is on the run. And then they couldn't even fucking do that Sunday. That offensive line is the reason why Chicago sucks. It isn't Justin Fields.
No, he's
That
doing
offensive
everything he
line
can.
is like a sieve, man. Like a sieve. Green Bay, who isn't really prominent on the sack, got, I think, 5 of them Sunday. And it was the scheme. Sitting here bitching about Joe Barry wanting to be fired. It was the scheme that they set up. If we cave in on him, he has no running lanes. Because that offensive lineman has to take steps back. Right? He had nowhere to go. Guess what? Sacked 5 times. Mm-hmm. It was Green Bay outcoached Chicago on offense, which is why Luke Getsy got fired today. So they are looking for an offensive coordinator. The reason that they're doing, Getsy isn't the guy to help Justin Fields. They're going to bring an offensive coordinator in that Justin Fields knows. And they're going to run off the offense that they used at Ohio State. If they go to that fucking offense, Chicago is going to be good in a couple of years because that is the offense that is going to catapult everybody into the future. It is the offense that everybody is running right now, is Ohio State's offense. Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, Washington, Michigan runs a power game, but you do see some smatterings of what those teams do. Wisconsin's doing it now. the spread them out, air raid, power running game is coming to the NFL, if not already here. I remember when the air raid was, we're throwing verticals and we're going deep. The air raid is the new West Coast offense. Once it sets in, it's going to take a few years for people to stop it. Because you're going to have to stop a powerful running game, and you're going to have to stop an exciting offense when they need to throw. That's where football is heading.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something to balance it off on the defensive side, and I don't think they will.
So, but Matt Eberflus, everybody crying that he got retained. Yeah, because he won more games than he did last year.
Yep.
And you keep Justin Fields, get him Marvin Harrison Jr. You got two weapons on the outside. How are you going to stop it? I mean, think about it. Yeah, the kid's a rookie, but that doesn't mean you can stop it. I mean, I've seen rookies go off and get almost, like there was a rookie this year that had 107 catches, and he wasn't even a fucking top draft pick.
You saw what happened to what's his name? Chase in Cincinnati that first year.
Chase. Oh, Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy. I think he's a piece of shit, but that guy.
Yeah, that.
I don't like it when players talk shit and then can't back it up.
Mm-hmm.
They act like even in a loss they did everything and nobody did nothing. That's the kind of guy I think he is. But yeah, so everybody crying about that, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that works for me.
They're gonna retain him. Then they have the number 9 pick. Get an offensive lineman if he's there. If not, trade down and get one down there.
Yeah.
Get yourself more picks. Teams don't just build off the first round. You gotta build on those middle rounds. Second round is no more different than the first round. Just money. The talent level hasn't dropped that far off from pick 31 to pick 38. That's what I mean. If you're drafted in those rounds, like Jaden Reed, he went 54 or 42nd. He wasn't supposed to go into the 5th round. Boy, Green Bay sure picked up a gem, didn't they? Just saying. Not everybody's in the fucking first round. Going out, I mean, but Marvin Harrison, again, is like the Trevor Lawrence to me. Can't miss. You just have to put the weapons around and succeed. That's the problem. And to protect them. So get yourself an offensive lineman. Then you're good. Just build off of that. And I think the GM is doing that in Chicago. Chicago's going to be formidable. I want Chicago to be. I always say this.
You want them to be competitive.
The blue bloods of college football and college basketball, when they're thriving, the sport is thriving. And I can say the same for Chicago. It's one of the first fucking...
It's one of the original football teams.
It is. It's one of the original 4.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody fucking made fun of me when I told the story of how NFL got started, and fucking Basement and Connor were laughing at me. I'll get into that history of shit. I can get into it, but I don't want to because I want to get to the final thing we're going to talk about. I just wanted to say, Chicago Bear fans, relax. What if they turn
at 10 o'clock here?
Yeah, let them turn things around. Let them turn things around, and then go from there. Quit your crying. It's okay. Give time. But the McCaskies need to fucking go. That's just the thing. So I'm gonna put this in the middle because we need to look at this. So we'll fill this out right now as a group, and we're gonna do it as a collective group, and we're gonna do it really fast.
Okay. Can you move our box, por favor?
You don't need to. Those brackets are empty.
Those
'cause that's the
brackets are
next
empty,
round.
and I'll explain them as we go. I'll explain it as quickly as I can.
Alright.
So the number 1 seed on the NFC side there is San Francisco, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, Detroit and Los Angeles, Dallas and Green Bay. On the AFC side, Baltimore has the week off. Houston and Cleveland play each other. KC and Miami play each other. And Buffalo and Pittsburgh play each other. So, and that's Super Wildcard Weekend happening this weekend. So, between Houston and Cleveland, who do you got?
I think it's going to be Houston.
I'm going to go with Cleveland.
No.
I hate to say that, but I'm just going to go with Cleveland. I think Cleveland's just better in all phases. And it's nothing against Houston. Houston is a feel-good story if I'm new to the football.
Yeah.
They've been bad. Houston's a team I'd like to see go on the run, but I don't think they are. I think they're getting stopped here.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. You agree with me? So we have a split.
I think they're going to get stopped after maybe round 2.
It depends on who they play. It depends on who they play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping they'll be the low seed for Baltimore, and that's where they get stopped at in Baltimore.
I don't hope it happens, but
I mean, well, I don't mean to say hope, but I'm just saying I see that happening.
I hear you. I just want to point out that Houston's.
It is a good story, though.
No, Cleveland, yes, but I think they're going to lose in the first round.
Yeah.
I think they're the Philadelphia Eagles of 2 years ago, where they get there. They didn't play that well.
But
that division that they were in is really bad. But for them to get there again, they're professionals taking on professionals, is quite a milestone because it's not
I think they're a couple of years removed from being.
They're 3 years ahead of where they need to be already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The AFC, Houston's going to be the team to beat here real freaking soon.
Yeah, they might get lucky if they draft well.
Well, Houston was on the roundabout there, and then Deshaun Watson ended up getting suspended, and then Houston declined again. I don't think C.J. Stroud's going anywhere.
No, they're going to keep him. He's done too well for them to replace him.
He's a fucking rookie and led his football team to the playoffs.
Exactly. They are not. They're gonna.
So
they're gonna have a death grip on him. I don't care what anybody says.
He's Lamar He's their Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out. He's taken way higher than Lamar Jackson.
Houston, just keep him out of massage parlors.
Oh, he ain't that type of person, though. You can tell he's more wholesome than that.
He's one of those kids.
And not to mention the allegations against Deshaun Watson. They weren't at parlors. They were in the locker room.
With that said, Cleveland just has too much on that defensive side of the ball to confuse me. That is why I can't.
It'll be close.
It'll probably be like 27-23, something like that.
I think it'll be 17-13 personally, but that's just me.
It'll be like 17-13 with Houston with the 17, right?
Cleveland.
No, Cleveland.
I know.
I mean,
I honestly think. I don't know. I think Houston's winning this game.
No swaying you either, Heather?
See, I don't know if Cleveland's got it together enough to actually pull it off, though. That's the thing. Cleveland is known for shooting itself in the foot.
Yeah, they are Cleveland.
Well,
they have the weapons, but they don't know how to use them.
You know who they have?
They have Deshaun Watson.
They have Joe Flacco.
He's injured.
They have Joe Flacco.
Watson's injured, Heather.
Oh, that's right.
They have Joe Flacco, who has won a Super Bowl. And it takes just getting into the fucking playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. It happened to Green Bay. It happened to the fucking Giants against the fucking Patriots. Twice. They went 8-8 and beat the fucking undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. It just takes a chance.
That's Giants did the same thing.
They did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did do it twice.
Just saying. I get what everybody. Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. So this next game, Miami is playing Kansas City in Kansas City.
Chiefs.
And it's
I'm
supposed.
going with the Chiefs. I'm not even going to talk
supposed to
about
be
this game.
Oh,
I'm not even going to talk about this game. But go ahead, Tim.
it's supposed to be fucking cold in KC.
That's why I'm not even going to talk about this game.
Exactly.
That's why I'm picking Kansas City.
It's going to be the Chiefs.
There's rumors out there that they're like, well, we should, because of the weather, we should move it to Indianapolis. Too fucking bad. Football's meant to be played outdoors. Grow the fuck up.
Do you not
It's
see
no way.
how many games have been played in fucking torrential
Snow.
downpours or heavy snow? Grow the fuck up.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
The Patriots
Casey
just
on it.
played in a fucking blizzard. I don't know why.
Exactly. I mean, the only reason why the Bills game that one time got fucking canceled was because they got 10 fucking feet of snow.
They shut down.
And
They shut
couldn't
down
get
the
to
city
the
of
field.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in or out of Buffalo.
I'm
weren't
going
allowed- if you went anywhere, you went to fucking jail in Buffalo. Go ahead.
I'm going KC.
Me too.
It's going to be Chiefs all the way.
So the Chiefs will.
I'm not going for them.
Well, it's too bad you're already outvoted, but you can go with Miami.
I will.
All right.
I don't
So-
think KC is there this year. I don't think they there like they.
I don't think
that's
Miami
well-
is. Have you seen Miami play?
It's Miami. What do you expect?
Well, there you go.
And they're playing in Kansas City, Missouri.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's going to be 10 degrees.
That's okay.
Not even.
Okay.
0 is the report.
Yeah. I'm just telling you. I don't
I
think.
hear you.
It's going to be
I don't
Green
know.
Bay weather.
All right, whatever. So then,
I think this is where the Bills are going to
This-
steamroll the
the
Steelers.
Pittsburgh, who is the seven seed, takes on Buffalo.
I think
Buffalo.
Steelers are going to get steamrolled.
I think Buffalo has finally found their niche.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to win this game.
I agree.
Yeah, Buffalo's gonna win.
All right. So we'll
It's
move
gonna
on.
be
Can
Buffalo
we move?
versus
All right,
Miami.
so we need to move on from the Houston-Cleveland game because I'm not going to move on unless this breaks the tie. Go to the live stream. Tell me who. Aaron, break this vote.
Rodgers.
Who is winning? Houston,
Houston
or
or the
Cleveland?
Browns?
Now, keep in mind, I just giving my thoughts. This is my thoughts, but I want you to break this for us. Houston or Cleveland? If you pick Houston, we'll put Houston. But if you put Cleveland, we're going to put Cleveland. Giving you that chance. While we do that, we're going to move over to the NFC.
Yep, that works.
Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Or Philadelphia, excuse me.
Unfortunately,
thinking
I'm
Philly.
going Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I'm going Philadelphia.
Bugging.
We need another break.
You bugging.
No.
Baker Mayfield been playing some good football.
Tampa
And
Bay.
Philly-
Hold on. Tampa Bay beat Carolina 9-0 in Tampa Bay.
That's fine, but we talking about the Philadelphia. Eagles, who's
Let me repeat myself.
struggling right now.
Let me repeat myself one more time. Tampa Bay beat Carolina 9-0 in Tampa Bay.
Aaron has Cleveland.
Carolina is the worst team in all of the NFL. They're probably worse than some of the United Football League teams that are going to be playing. Just saying.
You know what? Tampa Bay is going to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Good call.
Aaron has Cleveland.
Yeah. So it's going to be Cleveland going to next round.
Cleveland? Okay. That's fine. Just remember, we can just.
I'm gonna need something
Look,
to
no,
write it
I already got it. I already know. If I have to, I'll go back and watch it. And I'll write
He's going
this
to
down.
have to.
I'll write this down.
I am carnacking it for you right now. He's going to have to rewatch.
So apparently we need to break the Tampa Bay Philadelphia, right?
No, I said Tampa Bay.
Tim?
I said Philly.
I said Philly.
Rayshon said Tampa Bay.
I'm not changing. I don't think Tampa Bay is younger.
I think Philly will win one game and then they'll get knocked out afterwards.
I can see that.
I can't see that. I don't see them going past Tampa Bay. But I digress.
I just need to know Philadelphia or Tampa Bay. And that's fine. You can keep your pick.
A secondary.
You can keep your pick. I'm asking Aaron. They're playing with their secondary? Repeat what you said to me.
They're playing with a secondary.
They're playing with their secondary. Well, they better be playing with their secondary because if they don't, what secondary are we talking about? They're backups?
Backups, yeah.
No, they're not.
Man, that whole fucking team is washed up right now. Injuries.
You're getting recency
They're
bias.
healthy. They're getting healthy. They're getting Devontae Smith back. They're getting A.J. Brown might be out, but
yeah, there's a chance
I think you're reading too much. Tampa Bay is not that good. If they only beat Carolina 9-0 in Tampa Bay.
Listen,
Aaron's
I know Tampa
got
Bay is not that good.
So he takes Philly. So we're gonna take Philly. I'm just saying. I hear what you're a frustrated fan, and I get it. Next game, Detroit at the Los Angeles Rams. Detroit is the 3 seed. The Rams are the 6 seed.
I think the Lions get to second round, and then that's it for them.
I agree.
I agree.
Concurred.
Okay. And then Dallas at Green Bay.
This is gonna be a tough game
Another fucking team
for the house.
I don't look. No, I don't think. The only thing that I will get mad about in this game is if I see something that happens on the field, but I probably won't break anything.
Probably.
I will not. I said at the beginning of the year. What did I say at the beginning of the year with Green Bay? I said they may win 5 games.
And that they would be on the
I know these things. I'm not saying right now is the most I've had. Honestly right now I haven't. Yes, I throw my football, but I don't throw it at something that I can break. Trust me.
No,
I'm very careful where I throw that ball. All right, I don't want to pay for another fucking TV. I'm not expecting Green Bay to win this game. If they win this game, I'm excited. Yeah. We move on. I'm taking a shot at them again next week. If you look at what Green Bay has done this year, they aren't even fucking remote. They're the youngest team in the NFL.
There it is.
But they are. It is a fact, and they said it. They are the youngest football team to ever make the playoffs in the modern day era. So what does that tell you about football? It is getting younger. Green Bay is going to get better, and they will continue to get. The guys that they have on that roster right now are going to be together for at least 4 years.
4 years at least, yeah.
That's good.
No, that is what you want.
Yeah, that's what you want in the NFL.
Yeah, as a fan, that's what I want. I'm okay with being good for the next. Do you know why I like Green Bay so much? Because every year they don't do it through free agency. They redo everything through the draft. Everything goes through the draft. You have those teams like Dallas and Jerry Jones going out and spending $50 million on a wide receiver that will win him maybe one Super Bowl. Green Bay's trying to win the Super Bowl every fucking year because they draft through. They do everything through the draft.
They could keep trying to win a Super Bowl every year, but they're just not going to win this year. I think I'm going to pick Dallas.
I agree. I'm not sorry. I agree. Go ahead. Tim?
Dallas.
Okay. Dallas moves on. So now how this moves on is the lowest seed, or do you guys want to save this for next week? We can save this for next week.
Save it for next week, so we
Yeah.
know
So
exactly who the lowest
So what I will
seed
do is I will have you save this, and I will work
it's
on
already
this.
saved on the computer.
Okay, and then I will like copy this. I'll do my thing. I'll do my Adobe thing.
We don't have Adobe. There's the
I
problem.
got you. So we'll do. There's another way I can do it. So that's all I have.
I'm good.
I want to thank everybody for being here. Aaron, you are always our tiebreaker. We love it when you come in, so I'm making you a part of the
Unofficial panel.
and get in here and tell your friends and say, hey, have these guys, hey, they're just talking football.
Sometimes just talk out of our ass.
Because I'll talk. I'll talk all fucking night. But
I
anyway.
did already.
Anyway, so I'm going to end it here because we have to get over to the Horny Goat, apparently, because it's game night over there, and I don't have to work tomorrow, so I will be there. So once we get off of here, just hop on over there.
Well, there's nothing set up over there just yet.
I'm just saying,
But-
hop over there. We will fucking be over there doing whatever. I don't know what we're doing tonight.
I
So
don't either.
So tune in and watch that. So I'll fill these in. I'll rewatch the end of the show and or whatever I need to rewatch. I'll fill those in, and we'll fill in the
Cleveland,
next.
AC, Buffalo, Dallas,
I can go.
Detroit, and Philly.
I'll go back and watch it because I'll forget what you said to me in like 15
What I
minutes.
said, I already forgot.
Oh my god.
Most of them are pretty much fucking.
I know who they are
Right
right
fucking
now,
there.
but I'll forget. But I'll just go
All
back
right.
and watch the show if I need to reference. So, that being said, everybody have a safe night, a good night. And if you drink,
Aaron,
I
I don't watch every game, Aaron, but it's okay.
We watch what we
yeah,
can watch.
there are times I don't watch every game. In fact, I don't watch every game.
Most of the
And
time
there's
on
one
Sundays.
game most of us won't be able to watch this weekend.
Yeah.
The fucking AC Miami game.
I'm just telling you what I think about the week's games that I do watch and
Right.
my thoughts on just in general news.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And most of the time on Sundays, I just have Red Zone
Yeah.
on while I'm doing
Yeah.
something
So
on my
really,
phone.
the only time we don't change the channel on a Sunday in this house is when the Packers or the Ravens are on.
Mhm.
There is always a TV with the Packers or the Ravens on.
A lot of times, that's the only way I can watch the Ravens is Red Zone.
because she lives here. But it's
So even when I lived in New York,
I know, but
Yeah,
if I
they
could
know
afford
it's
the NFL ticket, I'd buy it.
I know.
I just can't. So
Yeah. No, as I said, there's one game none of us will be able to watch probably this weekend.
but
The fucking KC Miami game's on Peacock.
Oh, we have Peacock.
We
We
have
can watch
Peacock.
it.
Oh, okay.
if you can't watch it, you can't watch it. Listen to it.
Mm-hmm. I just find I'm not.
It's
gonna
it's
get
it's
into
on. It's on. It's they have all these games on the radio.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
can't watch a game and I really want to watch it, like that's what I do on the road. I put on
No.
Spectrum on my phone. Heather runs it. I drive and we listen to the game on the way home. Can't watch it. She can watch it, which is what she does. She turns to the motherfucker just so that I don't get distracted. That's what I do.
Because if it's
Mhm.
a Packer game, the steering wheel feels his wrath.
It's either that or I listen to Jim Cornette. That motherfucker's funny. So everybody have a great night. Stay safe, be well, and we'll talk to you next week.
Night, y'all.
If you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.